Welcome to welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're going through every WarioWare game ranked. The WarioWare series has been around for a couple of decades now, and the microgame madness is still going strong. However, which game in the franchise is the IP at its best? No matter what gets placed where, let us all remember, he's a Wario, and he's a number one.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. WarioWare Mega Party Games. Really, the WarioWare series has a lot of fantastic titles, but of them all, Mega Party Games is the lowest of the low. This was basically the very first game redesigned and reprogrammed from the Game Boy Advance onto the GameCube. However, the different title and appearance almost makes it look like a completely different game. Those who unknowingly bought and played the original would have forked over $50 for this overpriced port. To make matters worse, this wasn't just a port, it completely stripped the charming personality of the visuals and focused primarily on offering up multiplayer games. Yeah, you just paid the price of a full game for a lifeless port of a GBA game, with the only real difference being more multiplayer stuff. They may have been solid, but come on, man. Really? Number 9. WarioWare Snapped. Now, when you're ignoring the GameCube port of the original, Snapped is most often regarded as the weakest link in the series, and understandably so. First off, the game was designed entirely for the Nintendo DSi, which was just a thinner DS with a built-in camera. Really, were we about to spend another few $100s for another DS that just had a camera? Come on, Nintendo. This sounds cool on paper, but overall, Snapped was nothing more than a tech demo for the system. Even more confusing was the limited selection of 20 microgames. In other words, Snapped was not worth the 500 Nintendo points, especially considering there were better offerings for the same price by the time the 3DS launched. Plus, how do you even do a WarioWare game without Ashley? You just don't. You don't. Number 8. WarioWare Gold.
Hey, look here, it's a Wario.
Speaking of the Nintendo 3DS, WarioWare took its sweet time getting to the handheld. By the time Gold launched, most of us had already moved on to the Switch and completely abandoned our handhelds. Nevertheless, the game served as an excellent reminder as to why we love the garlic munching glutton and his pals, offering up a hearty selection of more than 300 microgames.
Time to bring out the games made by my flunkies in Diamond City.
Sure, a lot of them were from previous titles, but there was plenty here to get newcomers invested into the franchise. Not only that, but they all utilized the 3DS's capabilities in fun and unique ways. If you were new to the franchise, this was a fantastic welcome. If you were a veteran player, it was a lovely trip down memory lane.
Bet you think you're some kind of big shot, eh?
Number 7. Game & Wario. Game & Wario was one of many Wii U titles to get swept under the rug that was the console's failure. Those lucky enough to have a Wii U most likely nabbed this quirky entry in the series, and they were treated to another serving of hilarious and absurd microgames. Not only that, but it offered up some incredible side modes to shake things up, the most popular one being Gamer, where you play a variety of microgames while avoiding 9Volt's demonic mother, 5V. You also had an incredible Frank-flinging mode simply named Frank, a pirate game featuring Wario as its captain, and one where you have to help our darling Ashley collect goodies. How could you not love this game? Number 6. WarioWare DIY. DIY was arguably the biggest deviation from the franchise's formula. This time, you were the one creating the microgames. Admittedly, the tutorial sequences are a little more cumbersome than many would hope, but understanding the system would make the entire experience immensely satisfying. And just in case you weren't sure about what to make, you had a sizable library of pre-made microgames, all within the themes of the featured characters, to inspire you, and they were all designed with DIY's engine. Needless to say, DIY was all about the microgames and seeing what players could come up with for new collections. Plus, once you play Jimmy T's games, you're going to have the Body Rock song stuck in your head. Lord knows I've been singing it to myself all these years later, and hey, shout out to Sir Baki for letting us use his remix of the song for this video. Go check him out. Number 5. WarioWare Get It Together.
Which is greater?
That computes.
In June 2021, Nintendo began polling players about paying for a new WarioWare game. Would you spend $50 on a new WarioWare? Well, honestly, I would. And I think a lot of us would. Little did we know that we were gearing up for the release of Get It Together, and it was well worth the wait.
Dinner time. Okay.
This time around, players could play as the entire WarioWare cast to complete minigames, and they each came with their own mechanics. This not only created interesting ways to solve puzzles and fulfill win conditions, but also added a ton of replay value to the already meaty serving of microgames. On top of that, it hosts a plethora of multiplayer modes that'll have your friends trying every character while yelling at each other. It goes without saying that Get It Together is a must-have for Switch owners.
It's an ace.
Knockdown.
Number 4. WarioWare Smooth Moves. The first original WarioWare title designed for a home console, Smooth Moves was the next massive party game for Wii owners. The game was able to show console players why handheld players had loved WarioWare on the GBA so much. It was able to utilize the Wii Remote's motion sensing capabilities and interchangeable control scheme while doing so in hilarious ways. And if you liked certain microgames like Can Shooter and Balloon Trip, Smooth Moves offered extended versions of those, as well as thrilling multiplayer modes like Lifeline and Bungee Buddies. Number 3. WarioWare Touched. Nintendo tried implementing the touchscreen of the DS across several titles, but if there was one title that made use of everything without feeling cumbersome, it was WarioWare Touched. Rather than use the face buttons like the games that came before and after, Touched required players to use nothing but the touchscreen and microphone. Again, sounds tiresome, yet it worked so well. The simple motions of tapping and dragging on the screen made the game way more dependent on precision, not just reflexes. Hand-eye coordination was key to conquering this installment, and if this level of challenge didn't sell you, series newcomers Ashley and Mike certainly did. Go, Mike! Number 2. WarioWare Twisted. Most WarioWare fans are aware that a new game in the series only comes once for every generation of Nintendo hardware, so one would be surprised to learn that the GBA was blessed with 2 games. However, before we get to our painfully obvious number 1 pick, we have to gush over Twisted. This was not just a repeat of the first game, this was a completely new type of game for the GBA. Twisted came with a built-in tilt sensor, meaning players would have to rotate the GBA itself to beat microgames. As if this game couldn't get any cooler, this would be the first time we'd meet the best superhero of all time, the wafting warrior, Wario Man. Wah! There was just so much to love about Twisted, and it's why all these years later, we would love to get our hands on the game again. If only most of us still had GBAs. Number 1. WarioWare Inc. Mega Microgames. We just had to put the original game at the top spot. Mega Microgames was special not because of how many microgames it packed in, but because of how it managed to create an addictive formula using only a D-pad and 2 face buttons. No motion controls, no swappable characters, nothing but A, B, and directionals. This was WarioWare in its purest form, and it gave Wario another avenue to join the ranks of high-profile Nintendo stars, as well as a new source of revenue outside of Wario Land to fund his shoddy shack of a game studio, but that's beside the point. Mega Microgames holds up today with its basic approach, quirky art style and humor, and addictive replayability. And that's why, even today, Mega Microgames is the best game in the WarioWare series.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.